Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late jokes.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we are going to be reviewing my pick from the Wheel of Destiny. Almost our last pick in this current format. Today we're going to be watching or reviewing Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Real abrupt there.
Yeah. Well, Hell Comes to Frogtown from 1988, a New World Pictures production, directed by Donald G. Jackson and R.J. Kizer, written by Donald G. Jackson and Randall Frakes, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper as Sam Hell, Julius LaFleur as Squid Lips, William Smith as Captain Devlin, Sendal Bergman as Spangle, Lee Garlington as the briefing officer, and a bunch of people, Rory Calhoun as Looney Tunes, Nicholas Worth as Bull, Brian Frank as Commander Toady, and the list goes on. So this is a movie that, kind of like Teeth, has a little bit of a reputation that it's schlocky, it's goofy, it's humanoid frogs after the nuclear apocalypse, and the one clip that I mentioned before that everybody, if you've heard of this before, it's probably just because of that line read.
Barter to Leroy.
Private Barter.
Well, yes, but...
Shut your hole!
Sounds like a totally different actor. Totally different voice actor.
Yeah, that was
Love it.
That was Bull. The actor is Nicholas Worth, who played him, and he was easily the funnest part. His line deliveries for almost everything was freaking great. So anyways, yeah, I don't know anything about this movie except for that one line, and Roddy Piper's in it, and that it seems bizarre and bonkers. And I wanted to talk about it with you fellas. So it's all three of our first watches.
Yes.
Get that right out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood movie, actually. I've seen this many times.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I had never heard of it. Until
You have a different childhood than I
until
did.
you put it on the wheel.
And this is a fan favorite from listener Joel, who he basically said,
"Hell yeah,
Hell Comes to Frogtown, super fun." So I'm excited to talk about it with you guys, and let's go do some initial reactions. Tyler, give us your breakdown, what your first thoughts were for Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh my God, this was such an entertaining movie, and it's only fitting that they had a WWF wrestler as the main character because he's already familiar with acting, and he played the role perfectly. The story is very simple, and it's beginning, middle, end. Just overall very entertaining. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's so bad it's good. It's not one of those movies. It's just a solid project of a movie.
That's a ringing endorsement.
It's very simple.
Qualifies as a movie.
And also, I really like the feminist aspect part of it as well. I always subscribe to the idea that, women are the superior species of humans than the males of the human species. So whenever I
say that 15-year-old's pretty hot. I want to see that sequence transcribed.
Whenever I watch a movie where the females are the dominant gender of the plot of the movie, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love this movie. I was very entertained, and this is a movie that you could just pop on and just have a great time. If you're having a bad day, you know what? Hell goes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh,
Hell comes in Frogtown.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Multiple times.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right.
It's
Definitely had some Howard the Duck vibes.
Yeah, I did. Loved it.
Cool.
Loved it.
Listeners may not know this, but we used to run the show audio through a transcriber app. It used to be called Smart Learning. Now they just call it AI. And the computer blew up a few times when it got to Tyler's sentences. So we had to stop.
What was
doing
it?
that.
What was wrong with my sentences? I thought I described it perfectly. It
I
was
had
a
trouble
great-
deciphering. What
The
was going
female
on.
species is the superior of the human species above the male species.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Joseph, what do you think about Hell Comes to Frogtown?
Well, nothing prepared me for the sort of subplot of the movie with
The impregnation.
with essentially a perfect setup for a pornography film.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Like it's almost like a duty for the man. You got to get out there and you got to start fucking.
Yeah. What's going on the board?
And the first part of the movie felt like a softcore porn with the first
No, it didn't.
the first erotic dance that she does. Like that was a perfect setup for something that would be in a softcore porn, because she's doing this erotic dance. They have this captive woman that she wants him to rape, and
She's like, just do it. Just do it.
he's like, I can't do it like this.
I wouldn't qualify that as rape.
You wouldn't?
A woman who's tied up against her will.
And they're like, go impregnate her? You wouldn't call that a rape?
Go on.
You try to not jerk off while you're watching this movie.
Move on.
But yeah, so that was a curveball, just like from my own expectations. I mean, I kind of already knew what I was getting into when the movie named Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah.
Starring Roddy Piper. The same year that They Live was released as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look
They
that
both
up.
came out in the same year. That's how it's listed on IMDb anyway. And yeah, it's a schlocky, good, entertaining movie with really of the time, I guess, practical effects. And not to say like they're necessarily bad, but they're just fitting of the time
And
of
the,
which
and
it was
the budget
made.
of that movie.
The pink Oldsmobile thing was a funny
It's
inclusion.
a 49 to 53 Chevy Suburban.
I knew you would know that model.
And I knew you that you would say that.
I knew you'd say that. I used to have one like that. I didn't.
I had that in my mind when I was watching. I was like, I know Pete.
My grandpa gave it to me as a shell, and I sold it. So I was like, I'm never gonna build this thing.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like the premise, or the not the premise, but the chastity belt thing that he wears that has a flap is like, it's almost like he's a sex slave.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of
Impregnation.
for repopulation,
procreation.
is a really, really odd thing to include in a movie like this, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like, it's not like Tyler said, it's not a good bad movie. It's a schlocky movie that is entertaining, and I don't think they were trying to like they just made a solid, like, entertaining movie,
Schlocky sci-fi movie.
yeah, and it did its job. It fit the bill of a schlocky 80s post-apocalyptic borderline softcore porn movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. All right, so liked it overall though.
Yeah.
Cool, good. All right, my take. Let's see.
I hated it.
I also was surprised by the subplot, the impregnation subplot, and how much of it.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't know that was part of it. And I was like, oh, they find him. He knocked up the general's daughter or the colonel's daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
And it does allude that he raped her in the beginning. And then she says, well, she changed her mind when she realizes she was with child. I'm like, okay, so he's not a rapist because he got the job done?
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that was weird.
Yeah, that was.
And then they recruit him to be his super sperm soldier.
Yeah. Very potent.
Yeah. And they allude that he's got a big dick too.
Yeah.
Because
Roddy Piper's got that pipe.
the frog girl dancer was terrifying, by the way.
Yes.
That was hard to watch.
It reminded me of another movie. The frog effects. I don't know why. I don't know what movie though. It just reminded me of another movie.
Super Mario Brothers.
There was a little Super Mario Bros. I think in that. But when he's accosted, like the first time when you see the first the tall blonde woman who's in charge of him, once he becomes basically
What
government
was her
property,
name?
Glitter Sparkle or
It's
something like that.
Something
It's,
pornographic
Spangle.
sounding?
Spangle. Yeah, that's right.
But when she's got those comically oversized glasses and she's like a tall, buxom blonde,
Lean blonde.
you're like, come on, you can get different glasses than that. You're just trying to look like a scientist.
it's a fashion statement.
No, it's not. This is the apocalypse. There are no fashion statements back
Something
then.
That's not true. Like if I was if I was in a post-apocalyptic setting, I would want to look badass.
I don't think you would. I don't think you'd be worried about that.
I think Tyler would, of all the people here, Tyler would be. He'd be too focused on getting his hair just right with the spike. He'd have the misfit spike or whatever they call that.
Yeah,
What do
the
they call
devil
it?
lock.
Devil lock?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's the worst name.
You do it like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, can I continue?
But lingerie.
Can I
Because they got
continue, Doc?
lingerie in this.
She made it. Clearly, she made it. So that was a surprise to me. And the elements of the softcore nature, I'm like, oh, I forget this is World Pictures. New World Pictures. And they did a lot of really bad, like schlocky B stuff. So things like Soul Man. You know,
Never
that one?
heard of it.
No.
It's the one where the white guy dyes his skin black to get into college
No.
because of affirmative action.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what else. They did the 1985 Godzilla movie called Godzilla 1985. Lust in the Dust.
I think we should name every movie and then put the year it came out afterward.
Chud. They did Chud.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
Okay, Chud is fine.
Yeah. Escape. Death Race 2000. The one with what's it called? David Carradine in it. But they also did like Fitzcarraldo.
Oh.
Which is crazy. But that was earlier. That was like in the 70s. In the 80s, they were really very much a very, like, they were Hellraiser 2, Felix the Cat, the movie, Heathers, they did. So it's like a very wide ranging, and then they died out in 1993. Like they stopped. They went to sleep in basically 91.
We ran out of money.
I guess. So it kind of feels like a Roger Corman type movie, but with better quality production. And I was just thinking, like, Brianna and I were watching this, and it was producer Justice was there too. And she's like, thanks for putting on this softcore porn so that all three of us could watch it together.
I did not get any softcore porn vibes from this at all.
So the part when the second military woman with the slick back hair, she gets completely nude and lays on top of him.
Or what was her name? Cantilina?
Can I continue?
Sentinella.
Sentinella, yeah.
That's something like that.
So when she gets completely nude and lays on top of Rowdy Roddy, and then, or Sam Hell, and then the other one comes out and basically threatens to blow his dick off because she wants to get fucked instead of her, and he just turned her down, and the entire time, and then she,
ladies, please,
and then she does the seductive dance with the frumpy lingerie.
Yeah,
you're like, none of that seemed like a softcore porn to you?
No.
The bad acting,
the like secretary type outfit with the big glasses.
with the big glasses, yeah.
I don't know. I guess that just...
That's just Tyler's dream. Dream woman. So anyways, it was... The whole time I was watching it for like the first act, I'm like, all right, let's get to something. Let's do something. And
get to the fucking...
Then when Frogtown comes, I was like, yes, finally. The practical head effects. Like the ones where it looks like a human face that's kind of morphed with a frog, I could do without. They were good, but they weren't doing it for me. When the full-on animatronic slimy head frogs come out, I was 100% bought and sold. I was in like Flint. And then when Toady comes, his prosthetic, General Toady, I think that's what it does,
Commander Toady.
Commander Toady, that's it, Commander Toady. When his head comes in and you see it, he's got like cheek motion, eyebrow motion built into the head.
He's got like the bubbles on his neck.
He's a fully realized animatronic head, which is like miles above all the rest of them, and the rest of them already looked fun and cool. So when you get the first quarter of the movie, your first act of the movie, you're like, okay, this is a really kind of crappy, campy, softcore movie. Roddy Piper's doing his thing, and it is what it is. It's neither good nor bad. It's specific for that movie. And then you get the frogs, and you're like, this is fucking great. This is super fun. So could have used more frog puns. It felt like they missed the boat.
Light on the puns.
Yeah, he could have said something about, I'm gonna kick your ass so hard you wish you were a tadpole again, or something like that. Something. Anything. Something about lily pad. Who knows? It could have been anything, but there was a little bit left on the table.
They use lilies as like currency.
Yeah,
Where are they getting lilies
they just
at?
fucking grow money. You can just grow money.
Yeah.
there.
You think money grows on trees?
It grows
It
on
does
the
actually.
top of a pond, actually.
Yeah.
And then I really liked there was a recurring, the writing was better than I think people will give it credit for, because the part with the flap, there was they mentioned it 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, how do I, well, there's a flap. And it's almost like the 3 seashells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if there is a flap, how do you have sex through it
Yeah.
on a giant, huge, thick, mechanized thing?
Well, because his bird is big enough to go through
Like
the
a baby's arm holding an apple.
so
but-
he can go through.
But then
you only really need like
at some point
half.
he parrots that same thing back to the frog woman who's trying to have sex with him. She sees the chastity diaper, and is like, well, how are you gonna whatever? And he's like, don't worry, there's a flap. And then just moves on. I'm like, that's good payoff to that setup. So all in all, fun. Not a great movie, but definitely fun. So
Yeah.
good recommendation, Joel. I know this is my pick, but Joel essentially strong-armed me into it.
Yeah. No, this was a very fun movie.
When I first put it on at home, I had to watch it kind of twice, because the first time I watched it, I fell asleep like halfway through. I was like dozing off, so I didn't really catch the full movie the first time. And when me and Deanna were watching it, and like I was starting to doze off, Deanna was like, "Don't fall asleep and leave me with this movie."
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like you gotta put this movie on and just leave me here to suffer through it. So yeah, I kind of had to watch the second half again to get the full viewing. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I could see that.
She also fell asleep at some point too during the first viewing.
I do. I agree with Tyler that you can have this on in the background and just kind of be meandering around the house and hop in, and no pun intended, and see Commander Toady talking about the dance of the 3 snakes. I thought was a little confused about that, because it was built up to be some big thing, and then she starts like,
I wanted to see the snakes.
flipping her arms around. Yeah, and then I was like, where's the 3 dicks? Does he have 3 dicks? You're
It's like implied.
It's implied that that's the 3 snakes, and she kicks him 3 times when she kicks him in the nuts.
Oh, I didn't even.
He has
count
like
that.
Medusa's head on his junk.
Yeah,
Like-
pretty much.
I
Snakes for dicks.
It's interesting that you guys characterize this as like a softcore porno, which I did not think of at all as a softcore porno. Like, I thought this was just very schlocky. I already knew Roddy Piper as being a wrestler, and so I was thinking, okay, so this is what was that movie that we watched with where the guy's in the desert and he's like, oh, they have turrets.
Gentlemen Broncos.
Yeah, Gentlemen Broncos. Like, kind of reminded me of that, but taken seriously. And so,
This Hell Comes to Frogtown?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I was thinking, I had that mindset. Like, it was taken seriously by like all the crew and the actors and stuff like that, but like executed, it felt like Gentlemen Broncos.
I get what we're saying. Like, we're not saying that it is a softcore porn, but like the things that were on the screen would be in a softcore porn movie.
Yeah. Like, you remember Hard Ticket to Hawaii?
Yeah.
It's like any excuse to get their top off, Hey, me and you, let's go take a hot tub dip together. Instantly, tops come off, tits hanging out.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because when the
Tits.
It's interesting that you mentioned tits. When the girl who's who's basically the bodyguard of
She's a babe.
She is
She's a robo babe.
She was a hotter of the two, absolutely.
I completely agree.
If she was president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
I completely agree. And so I was thinking that it just, I guess what I really liked about this movie is the natural progression of the plot. And
I like the story beats, and that it was
I love the mise en scene.
like, because as the audience, you put yourself in the position of, okay, so you're in this post-apocalyptic world where that the human females are the dominant species.
Are they dominant, or are they just the most prevalent?
I would say dominant, because they're the ones who are running the show.
It's a weird mix, though, because they're by default the leaders because there's more of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're just like begging to get fucked by this guy.
Yeah.
which is a weird thing. And they still need a man to go save these, virgins, which I don't remember call them being virgins, but the trailer says so.
I mean, Jesus Christ, like that's a cling, turn on for me.
What?
And then you're saying it's not a softcore porn?
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Is that your fetish, Tyler?
I got a little tickle, but
Try to not jerk off while you're watching this movie. Honest question, Tyler. Pants on or off when you watch this?
oh, pants off for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
About to have the hardest boner right now.
2 weeks in a row, or is it horny movies we're watching?
I know. It's horniness all around.
What was the
Teeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, teeth.
Oh, correct. It's not a horny movie.
The characters are horny.
Yeah,
a lot of
they are.
sex talk, a lot of dicks.
Wait, you
They're
don't-
getting bitten off,
A
but
lot
still.
of dick
you don't
severing.
want your dick bit off
And topless. She was topless in that one. And
She's
there's-
topless.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Well,
that.
I guess
drop.
what I'm trying to say is like when she comes on to
She
Roddy
comes?
Piper.
She comes on to
no,
Roddy
she,
Piper?
No, she was blue balled by the
She was blue vagged.
yeah. Blue badged.
Blue vagged.
Blue vagged. I'm gonna use that from now on.
You can have it.
You can. That's yeah.
That's all yours.
But it was the reason why I say it like there's like a natural progression is because it's a world full of horny women, right? And so they have this potent man that they're going into this reservation of frog people, which is already ridiculous on its own. And eventually, you're going to succumb to your feelings.
You're
And
gonna succumb too.
So really,
It's
the fetish isn't the impregnation fetish. It's the fact that they have no choice but to have sex with you in this scenario. That's what you're saying. You're the only man left on Earth. That whole thing.
Potent
I
man.
wouldn't touch you if you're the only man left on Earth.
well, look at me now.
But the problem is that it's not some dork. It's Ratty Piper with a giant python.
Wouldn't it be better to just like extract the semen, the sperm?
They don't have the technology. It got blown up in the
They have the
apocalypse.
technology to make like
yeah.
a remote controlled chastity belt. But
Yeah, no syringes though.
no
no.
cups and syringes.
Nope.
No, because
Cups are outlawed there.
yeah.
Apparently.
No, I mean it's about the feeling. Like, you got to get emotional with it.
Why?
Because that's just how humans mate.
Not unless you have teeth in your vagina, then you just jump right on it and bite it off.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You want at least amount of emotions as possible.
you just splurt it out and then just all right, you're done.
Great reenactment of that.
But anyways, I was just
I just don't understand how,
I just
how
think-
you can't see the schlocky B level porn level of this.
I mean
what you were just describing was like the perfect setup for a softcore porn. A woman-run world, a world that is mostly women,
Yeah.
and there's one man who needs to impregnate as many of them as
It's a
possible.
perfect setup to have an excuse for this person to have sex as many times as possible on camera.
I mean, I don't know. I think it was a great story. Like I don't think it deserves the character.
Casablanca, who?
I
Step
don't.
over.
I don't think it deserves the characterization of softcore porn. Like
It's
I think
not. It's just similar. Move over, Schindler's List. We got a new story in town. Enough of that depressing talk.
I mean, I guess like my point being is like her going into and making her move on
Sam Hell.
Sam Hell. The gunner going to make her move. Like it felt natural and it made sense and it didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel like they were trying to be like sort of like a sexual sort of like schlocky film. Like it made sense given the context of the plot where this is a woman-run post-apocalyptic world, and
What if they had-
want to get fucked? And so,
It's not. No, they don't want to get fucked. They want.
men are rare.
They
And
want
she's-
to repopulate the earth.
Yeah, they want to get
But if you remember though, the gunner says,
she's infertile.
"I'm infertile." So
She's
so this is just me trying to get off. Like
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like that's
So how is that not even more of an endorsement that it's a porn?
That falls outside of the plot that you laid out.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm just naive. about it all.
I think the porn has clouded your mind. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe I've been watching
not
a little
hard-
bit too much of
hardcore
X-rated
enough.
videos.
Yeah.
It's not hardcore enough. Yeah, that's exactly right.
There was not one fisting scene in this, so I was assuming it's probably not actually.
I know,
porn.
there's no
PG stuff.
There's no double fisting. There's no shitting or anything like
Okay,
that.
that's enough.
Okay, well, yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that within
Tyler.
the confines of the movie, like it felt.
Fisting and shitting goes hand in hand. No pun intended.
Tyler, question for you.
Go ahead.
Would you be willing to let us peruse your browser history on the podcast?
Absolutely not.
For the world to
Would,
see.
would you hand over your cell phone to me
No.
for the Patreon?
Please no.
$5
For the Patreon.
How about $5?
I'll give you how much is the ticket to the IMAX for Spring Breakers? $25?
Yeah.
I'll give you $25 right now. I'll buy you a ticket. And I'll go with you. I'll break my rule and I'll go see a movie with you. If you hand over your phone right now and let me go through the browser history.
No. I'm not going to do
all
that.
right.
But
You hear that, classmates? No dedication.
But it's interesting that you mentioned the prosthetics of the
Mine's
frog.
mostly tortoise related.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny that the paste that he was trying to feed Sam Hell was made of what did he,
He said
say?
baby
Like
tortoises and
baby-
brown lizards.
baby tortoises and brown lizards. And I love the line. He's like, "Yeah, just don't tell me. Don't tell me what it's made of." Like it was
puzzle
it was
piece?
delivered perfectly.
Puzzle piece, Demolition Man. Demolition Man. When he comes back, he goes back and he goes, "This is a great burger." He goes,
yeah.
"You look around here. You see any cows down here?" And they ask him, "What is it?" "Oh, it's a rata." He goes, "You tell me this burger's a rat?
The rat burger.
It's the best burger I've had in years." not a lie.
It's actually and to go on that point too is when he had his beer at the bar and he like just like gulps it down and the bar owner was like, "It's only a little radioactive."
Yeah.
And it was Coors.
I mean, any port in a storm. Coors Original.
Yeah, Coors Original.
The banquet beer.
Yeah, the banquet beer.
You know anything about Pete Coors?
What?
Is that a person?
Yeah, Pete Coors of Coors fame.
Mr. Coors?
Yeah, from Golden, Colorado.
No.
Mr. Coors.
Yeah. You may be surprised to hear that the guy who's of the Coors family has been arrested multiple times for DUI.
I don't know if I'm surprised.
He puts his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Chris says he'll also fund a ticket. He wants to see the
He wants to see the
browser
history.
history.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen.
Why? We saw you in a Speedo. You signed it for him.
He's got it framed.
Pull it up. Come on, Tyler. Let's see it. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that to you.
Come on, whip it out.
No, we're not doing that. And plus, all my pornographic history is on my computer, not on my phone. So,
Oh, so what are you looking up
Oh yeah,
on your phone?
you live alone,
yeah.
so you can just do it right there.
You just, well, I mean, you don't have a TV, but you just computer monitor
Yep.
out there on your lawn
Very
chair.
long, yeah.
It's meshed for a reason. It's a mesh seat. Any other specific scenes that you guys wanted to call out?
Well, yeah, I was going to talk about the prosthetics of the frog people. Well, one, I feel like there wasn't enough frog people in this movie. I like the build up to going that this mute. It's almost like the video game Fallout, where like there's like this certain area for mutants due to the nuclear war that had come and pass, and I don't know why frogs were prevalent in the desert. I would think it would be like.
I don't think it used to be a desert.
Oh, okay. But
Shut your hole!
I mean, like it had to been a long time to have anthropomorphic
One more time. Take it one more time.
anthropomorphic
Almost got it. There's a P in there.
anthropoform.
It
doesn't matter.
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic.
Hey!
Being. Yeah, thank you for the applause. I felt like that takes like thousands of years to have that kind of species of like human and frog mutation to happen, and I don't even think that. I mean, if I had learned anything from media and cinema, like with The Road,
All the documentaries
The
that
Road.
we watched.
like The Road, like it's just everyone just like kind of like dies out. There's no mutations. There's nothing. It's
Well, it
just
depends on.
How do you know?
It depends on the
It's all fiction,
on
anyway.
what causes it, right?
I know it. I know
It's all
it.
fiction.
I know it's all fiction, but I feel
How
like
do you
that-
explain
it would-
Planet of the Apes then?
I can't.
Huh?
I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't, can you?
Okay, well, I guess that's a testament to my ignorance on the mutations of creatures. But the prosthetics of the frog people, though, were incredibly detailed for a movie of this scale.
Joel says more like anthropomorphic. Am I right?
Well, guess what? What do you think the budget was on this movie?
It had to been like $2 million.
Oh, okay. You're wrong. It was $1 million.
Oh, not bad.
It was $3 million initially, and then they cut the funding to $1
They
million.
cut it into a third.
That's
Yeah.
probably why there wasn't a lot of frog people in there, because like the prosthetics of the frog people were really well done. Just like the way
They're uneven though. There's like 3 levels of prosthetic. There's like the humans that just have like a rubber mask on. There's the animatronic heads, but just the mouth moves.
Yeah.
And then there's Commander Toady, which is like a full on.
That one was probably the most
That was-
expensive.
Well, they probably had to put it in, like, prioritize
Yeah,
the
exactly.
characters.
Yeah, I wish Bull had more time. His line delivery is just so good.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You really are a weird guy, aren't you? Or whatever he says.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lines like that are super like
Odd.
very modern.
Yeah.
For some trivia. Steve Wang is who he did. He did the prosthetics. He did also prosthetics for Predator. And Bill and Ted Face the Music and a bunch of other stuff.
The newer Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton one, he did makeup for. But
That was good.
He did the prosthetics for only $12,000. That's impressive.
Only.
Wow.
It's the last film to be shot at the Indian Dunes movie ranch before it was completely plowed for a housing development.
Oh.
Can you imagine? Like, I live where they filmed
Hell Comes to
Frogtown. This is prime real
The female frog dancer, Arabella. She took 3 hours in makeup to do each day to get into character, and it took half an hour to remove all the makeup. She also was in a bunch of other stuff that could be considered softcore porn. Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Hard Bodies from 1984 and 1985. Before this,
A lot of overlap here.
did not show off much of her body in this one. All frog.
Her frog
It was all
body.
frog,
I like
yeah.
that's funny. He puts a bag over her head. He's like, "Yeah, that's my kink. Don't worry, it's just a human thing."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's more to say about this movie? Like, it's such a
Roddy Piper he got an acting coach. This was actually after the acting coach. Surprisingly, his performance. It was originally conceived as a series. The first direct sequel called Frogtown 2 was in 1992. AKA Frogtown, AKA Return to Frogtown in 1993, and then Toad Warrior from 1996.
Toad Warrior.
That's just Road Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was re-released as Max Hell Frog Warrior in 2002. 19-day shoot.
2002.
Yeah, it kept going.
I mean,
I wonder
that's,
how 9/11 changed their.
As soon as the second plane hit the tower, the producers were like, "All right, we need to get on this project.
We got to go back to Frogtown.
Who knows if we're ever gonna get our chance."
see, that's
Pam Grier was also considered to be play
Pam Grier.
Sentinella at one point. Yeah, she's great, but I liked the actress who was in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can ignore all the sequels and stuff like that. I think this movie is definitely a gem of a movie for the 80s. Like, when you think of like a schlocky 80s
Whoa.
movie.
The composer was David Shapiro, who's the father of Ben Shapiro.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, right. Well,
Commander
now this
Toadie's-
movie is ruined.
Commander Toadie's 3 snakes were actually puppets. We don't see them, though.
No, we don't.
That's really weird.
I always thought
and
that was
then-
like I thought in the movie that was weird that you have to do the 3 snakes dance or whatever, and
Yeah, you need to get them hard 3 times.
yeah.
Dance or die.
Also, one of the directors of this directed one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
What's that?
R.J. Kizer. The name sounds familiar to you guys?
No.
Directed Pocket Ninjas.
Oh,
Yes.
The one that.
Yeah, Tyler's friend recommended it. Was a I'm sorry, not R.J. Kizer. He was one of the directors. It was the other one, Donald G. Jackson.
Yeah, I remember.
Donald G. Jackson.
Donald G. Jackson.
Goddamn.
He also
I tried to forget about
he
that.
is also director writer for Roller Gator,
Hell yeah.
Rollerblade 7.
Hell yeah.
Rollerblade, Return of the Rollerblade 7, which has a 1.9 on IMDb.
Nice.
Roller Gator has a 1.2 on IMDb. Oh my god.
Can you go below 1?
No, you have to rate it a 1.
Yeah.
So like the lowest you can possibly get is a 1. 1.2 is about as fucking close as it gets.
There's no 0.5.
No. I'm trying to look through his 1.2 looks like that is the worst. Baby Ghost 1.5.
Baby ghost. This ghost is a baby.
The Demon Lover 3.3. I Like to Hurt People 5.8.
That sounds like a name of some like pop punk emo band.
Yeah,
I like
I Set My Friends on Fire.
Yeah, like a screamo band or whatever. Yeah.
Where is it? Maybe it was the writer. Pocket Ninjas.
Pocket Ninjas.
God damn, that was a bad movie.
That was
I forget Robert Zadar's in that.
not good. Not good. But
Yeah, maybe it was the writers.
I don't know. I think Hell Comes to Frogtown is a great 80s movie.
One of the great American movies.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like it should have been on the what was the satellite we send out in the 80s
the Origin
or
something like that?
Discovery or something like that. Yeah, that should.
No,
be
that's
on
a spaceship. This is Discovery.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
other popular 1988 movies: Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Above the Law, starring Steven Seagal.
Hard to say which is better, Who Framed Roger Rabbit or this.
Yeah. Monkey Shines, The Beast, Tokyo Pop. I haven't even heard of some of these. The Unbearable Lightness of Being. I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't care.
Die Hard,
Oh well, I mean, I do care.
The
about
Thin
that
Blue
movie.
Line.
Thin Blue Line. Okay.
It was Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 space probe carried
the
the
Voyager.
golden record, which includes music from around the world. The record was launched in 1977 as a message to extraterrestrials who might find the probes.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't even understand it. I mean, Arrival. Already,
How are they going to play it?
I mean, Arrival.
Mackenzie was 1988 also?
Mackenzie, Short Circuit 2, Tetsuo, the Iron Man,
Ooh, cool.
Killer Clowns.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Shut your hole!
That's going on the board.
yeah, that's a good one to cut me off when I start to ramble.
We barely use the Skyrim one as it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
We could always use more.
Ah,
Could always have more.
you're awake. Whatever he says.
Yeah. You're awake, fellow. You're a weary traveler.
yes. I'd like to talk about
They're actually talking about
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be called like Warframe or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's already a Warframe game.
I don't
Is that
care.
really?
Yeah, they're gonna do like shipbuilding and stuff like that. I don't give a shit. I don't care about video games anymore, honestly.
All right, take it easy.
I'm getting pissed.
You and your cynical ass.
Yeah.
I know.
All I care about anymore is Minecraft. That's all I play. Hammerfell, that's what it's called.
Oh, yeah,
Elder Scrolls
Hammerfell.
6 Hammerfell.
Hammerfell, yeah.
Interesting.
Hope they include frog people in it.
Yeah.
I'd like to marry a frog person.
There's a creature in
That's going on the board.
there's a creature in the gorge that is a direct pull from Skyrim.
Oh.
That's why I
A
was
creature?
Yeah, there's a creature.
Is it a dragon?
No, it's not a dragon.
Is it a crab?
No, it's not a crab. It's not a crab. I can't say because it ruins the fun.
Okay.
Is the name of the creature the species of the creature?
I can't remember what it's called. Let me see what it's actually called.
I want to say about this movie too is like I think Sam was like the best character in this movie because
The
he
main
was
character?
Yeah, he was very respectable towards all of his other compadres. Even to the frog lady that was banking a pass at him.
Mhm.
Like he was not like misogynistic. He didn't take advantage. Like the only time that I guess you could argue that he was being like an asshole is when the lady with the glasses. God, I keep forgetting her name. What was her name?
Is it Spangle?
Spangle. Every time, so when Spangle had to go into disguise as the prisoner for Sam,
Uh-huh. He started tugging her around.
He starts tugging her around. He's just like,
He's
yeah,
just getting into character, to be honest. To be fair, and
Yeah,
she
but-
was being a dick to him. Like she was shocking his junk for no reason.
That
She'd
was-
squeeze her ear
that was
earring.
That was all. That
Oh,
was,
you're having sex with her?
That was frustrating, but also kind of a turn on.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
I was crying and I had a boner.
Anything else you guys want to say before we give it a grade?
No.
Joel says he's Team Tyler for this episode.
Awesome. Finally, for once.
That is a drop for that.
You have tens of people on your team.
I do.
Tens, yeah.
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10. One thing I will say, though, is they ripped off Raiders of the Lost Ark in this movie, which I don't mind.
Which part?
Which part?
The bazooka part,
What bazooka part?
where they're in the valley
Mm-hmm.
and he holds up the bazooka against Toady.
Okay.
And then they kind of switch it up where like he's like pulling the trigger and it's not working. He's like, and then he pulls out his pistol. Doesn't work.
So that's Raiders is the only movie to do that.
Probably not. I don't know.
I think that's just a pretty common trope.
But I mean, like I noticed it. Like when I saw the scene, I was like, oh hey, it's like a homage to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I like that.
You just said ripped off, and then he said homage.
Which is it?
Well, I mean, like they're interchangeable, right? Like
No, one of them was disrespectful.
a ripoff is disrespectful. Like,
Yeah, it
I
is.
never considered a ripoff.
A ripoff has a negative connotation, whereas homage is like you're paying respect to
Yeah.
something.
Oh, okay. Well, they're
It's influenced with respect.
okay. Well,
It's arguable which one Quentin Tarantino is for his entire career.
Well, the classmates know that I have a tenuous grasp on the English language, so
Tenuous, good word.
what
What does tenuous mean?
It means not knowing anything.
Let's see here.
Spell it.
Tenous.
Close.
Tenous.
Tenuous.
Oh, okay.
Tenuous.
Right.
The
That's
tenuous, very weak or slight, a very slender or fine, a tenuous cloud. The tenuous. link
Okay, I don't
between
need to
issues.
be checked
No,
by
I
my
was
grammar.
checking for myself. I don't know. I know I've used it in a sentence. I don't
The
know what it means,
tenuous
though.
link between interest rates and investment.
I like when you find a word that you've used for your whole life and you find out it has a different meaning.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, what was the word? It's auspicious. Like I didn't,
auspicious.
I
yeah.
didn't know what auspicious meant. I just knew it meant it was like good in some way. Let's see, auspicious.
It's like elated.
No,
Or-
I think it's lucky.
Or even saying an expression wrong, like play it by ear.
Yeah.
Play it by ear. Play it by ear.
So first of all, auspicious says conductive to success, favorable, giving or being
Yeah.
given a sign of future success.
All right, so lucky is
An auspicious moon is like it's going to give you success basically. That phrase there's a word for that when you take a phrase that sounds like something and it could make sense like all intensive purposes.
Yeah.
People say intensive. It's all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
all intents perfect.
Or card shark. It's actually card sharp.
Card sharp.
Yeah.
Like
So-
someone who's into cards.
Yeah, it's a card sharp. But it got bastardized and turned into card shark.
Weird.
And if it still makes sense in the new context, like amber lamps.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here comes the amber lamps. They got red lamps. They're spinning around. It makes sense. That's called an egg corn.
Egg corn?
Egg corn. Yeah, it's a colloquialism called an egg corn because people call acorns, and they're shaped like a little egg, like a little corn.
Oh, it's like,
acorn.
you're not wrong.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You still said it wrong, but I know what you're talking about.
It's like you failed successfully.
Yeah,
Well-
exactly. All intensive purposes, still makes sense. Card shark still makes sense.
What about irregardless?
That's just
No,
not a word.
that's-
That's just
yeah,
a fake word.
that's-
People.
But neither is amber lamps.
Yeah, but what does irregardless mean?
Well, it just means contextually they're trying to say regardless.
Yeah, regardless,
then,
regardless of.
Yeah, but they say irregardless.
I feel like irregardless is something that people say when they're trying to sound smart.
I'm not saying people should say it. I don't like when people say it.
Yeah, I know.
But like, you get the message is still delivered in a sense. You just sound
Yeah.
stupid.
Well, consider this English lesson by you two. What?
Whet?
Yeah, I actually learned how that word is spelled and what it means.
Is it what
recently.
WHET?
Yeah,
Like whet your appetite?
Like
Yeah.
whetstone.
wet your whistle.
Whet your whistle?
I thought it was wet your whistle. It's wet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like whiskey.
Why are you saying it like that?
Like
Why I'm saying
wet.
what way?
Consider my appetite wet.
What does it mean?
It means you're
Satiated?
It's satiated, satisfied.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I always thought that milk toast was milk toast. Like
Right. Same here.
Like the
But
yeah,
it's spelled with the Q.
But it's a Q, yeah. Milk toast.
yeah.
Seems unnecessary.
I know. Why?
I don't know.
Why?
The last thing I want to say about this movie.
Okay.
The last thing I want to say before we get into grading about this movie is that we need movies more than ever now.
Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is that? What is that? Is
Nothing.
that you?
Yeah.
No,
me.
okay.
We need movies more than ever now that due to the climate of our Western society, that we need movies like this that make no sense, doesn't need to have a deeper meaning, doesn't need Timothée Chalamet strutting around his bare chest. We just need, just fun movies. I rest my case.
All right, we're going to grade this thing. I'm going to start it off. I'm giving it a B+. Nah, B. I'll give it a B. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really fun stuff and a lot of stretches where I was like, okay, something needs to happen here. I want a little bit more craziness. So still recommend, still very fun. I think this is another movie where you should watch with friends and maybe a few drinks, some smokes, something to alter your mind a little bit to dig in. And when you see that first female frog dancing on the bar and you're like, oh, it's that kind of movie. We've arrived at Frogtown. So yeah, very, very fun. Thanks for the recommendation, Joel. And now that I saw the Three Snakes was a puppet, I want to find the unrated cut.
Yes.
I want to see the
director's
uncut
cut.
with the Three Snakes in full view.
The snakes are also uncut.
Yeah, I want to see them with their turtlenecks and everything. So yeah, B for me, Tyler.
Solid A. Solid
Ooh,
A for
A,
me.
cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try to seek this out on VHS, and I need to own this movie. I need it.
But you don't have a VCR.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What do you have? What do you watch with it?
Wait, you don't have? You only have a computer monitor.
Yeah, you don't have a TV.
Yes, I do. It's in storage.
But okay.
Yes, I have a VCR and a TV monitor. I just haven't gotten it to the.
What's stopping you?
Laziness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like the honest answer.
Procrastination.
Depression hole.
Yeah, my. Yeah. So
I'll help you. I got access to a truck. I'll help you move it.
No,
It's a huge TV. It's massive.
It's literally like a cube, like this big. Like I used to.
Was
watch
it CRT?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I got an extra one if you want it. You can take it home with you today.
TBD.
Okay.
But yeah, solid A for me. I fell in love with this movie.
Cool. Awesome.
I mean, I could wax on about it all day, but
That's what the first half of the episode's for.
Yeah.
Joseph, what about you? What you got? B for me, A for Tyler.
Yeah, also B.
Hey, all right.
Also a B for B movie. For this B movie.
B for Bullfrog.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that this is a group movie as well. I would say make sure your group is, you know your group well and that they're cool with also watching a half softcore porn with you.
oh, I disagree. I think you should not. You should show this to people you don't.
I'm muting you. This is not. It's Joseph's time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hey mom.
Yeah.
You want to watch this movie?
Pastor
with me?
Keith, come over.
Yeah.
Keith.
It would be hilarious to see what someone like my mom would react to this.
Or Deanna's mom.
Yeah. Even better. Deanna's parents. That'd be so funny. But yeah, I mean it's just another schlocky movie with Roddy Piper. In terms of Roddy Piper movies that I've seen ranked, it's only two of them, and that's They Live and this one. I would say that this one is second to They Live.
Oh yeah, They Live is miles better.
As a whole, I had more fun with this than I did with They Live, but maybe it's because it was a rewatch this last time I watched They Live, and I think the novelty wore off of it. The concept is good. You imagine showing this to your parents, and then every time you go over there, they just constantly they pick up that talk back.
They
Don't
just
talk back to me, son.
They stick that.
Shut your hole.
That's what
Joseph.
That's the one thing that sticks with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess let's
Maybe spin the wheel.
we'll spin it just for good measure, anyways.
Just for performative
Yeah.
measures.
There's no reason to spin it, but we're gonna spin it anyways. 1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. All right, Hell comes to Frogtown off the wheel. There's only one left.
Poblard Mall Cop 2.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. There's 2 left.
Damn it.
Oh, bummer. There's 2 left. So we had this whole thing. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Next week is our 500th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the guys, hey, yeah, it's going to be episode 499 and episode 500 next week. And it's the last movie that we're ever going to review before we do the format change. But we got 2 movies.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll end on 502.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So let's just do this. Let's divide it down the middle. We have Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 and Falling in Love Like in Movies. It's half, this half, and this half. So this half of the wheel is...
So 50-50 chance.
Yeah, 50-50 chance that we don't have to spin it 6 times.
Before you spin it, we have a person in the chat. Dan Smith says that he finally caught up with our catalog, which was a goal
Oh,
that
cool.
they set before watching the YouTube streams.
Wow. Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you
Watch/listen.
watch or listen to all the episodes. That's a lot of content.
Yeah, that's
Almost 500.
That's 5 years worth.
Basically like 3 hours a week for 5 years.
Oh,
So what
man.
is that? Let's do some math.
What a journey.
Let's do some math. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Is it gonna?
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
We're gonna
right.
pause the show to honor. Was it Dan Smith?
Dan Smith.
Dan Smith.
Dan Smith, you're gonna have to be our show
52
historian
times
now.
5.
He's gonna be the show historian.
52 times 5 times 3. 780 hours roughly.
Oh
It's
my
about
God.
32 days worth of content.
Okay. Only took him a month to do it.
Well,
Yeah, non-stop, nothing else.
yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Thank you for that. Appreciate
you.
it. And we're going to be, you're just in time too, because we're going to be changing the format up slightly in 2 weeks. Commute cooking. Yeah, listen to commute cooking. Awesome. Hey, Dan, his name is Mr. Plow Dan.
Mr. Plow.
Hell yeah. A Simpsons fan too.
Mr. Plow.
That's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow. Put the jacket on, homie. Thank you. See, now someone's on Team Tyler. He says, no need to do better. You're doing great, Tyler.
That's not true, but thank you for the sentiment. I love it.
We always want to do better for ourselves, but anyways. All right, let's spin this and go 50-50. We got Paul Blart Mall Cop or Falling in Love Like in the Movies.
I kind of hope it's Paul Blart.
I want to end on Paul Blart.
What's... It almost...
It's Paul Blart.
Woo!
We bring the boom.
Fitting since Kevin James stars in Here Come the Boom. I have no idea what that's about, by the way.
Kevin James. Oh, yeah, he does.
Paul Blart.
Can you believe that Kevin
2.
James has like generational wealth that he can pass on to his?
Who is his generational wealth?
I
Like
don't know.
he's so rich that his kids are going to be rich is what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, they said he...
It's crazy. It's crazy. It makes me. You know what? It gives
Why
me,
just Kevin James, though, and not any other...
I don't know. Like it could be anyone. Freaking Rob Schneider. Like look at him.
I don't know if he has generational wealth.
Not at this point.
No.
No, really.
No.
No. He's like Rudy Giuliani.
I don't know.
He's got
Yeah.
nobody. He's got no cash.
He's got nobody.
Jeff Dunham, he's got generational wealth.
I know it's crazy.
Yeah. Jeff Foxworthy.
It's yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a very existential conversation.
Once he
we
voiced
could have,
Mater,
but
that was it. He was made for life. Mater for life.
Steve Irwin's kids.
All right. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is streaming on Hulu. So everybody can watch along. It's got Hulu.
Huzzah!
And Joseph, why this movie?
Because it's the second of the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Paul Blart Mall Cop Part 2.
Back in action on the Segway.
Yeah.
Back
on the Segway.
The first one was like one of our highest viewed YouTube full review episodes
You're
in
welcome.
a long time. Behind True Detective season 1,
Yeah.
second part 2.
I think we should revisit that again.
No.
No, you could do it on your college radio show.
It's been less than a year.
I know.
Would it be sad that I watched it again?
No, Brianna is watching Breaking Bad again for the 10th time.
I'm watching Malcolm in the Middle again for like the third time.
Oh, that's such a great sitcom. I love that.
2 Bryan Cranston bangers.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you want to say about Paul Blart 2 before we wrap up?
I didn't do any research, but I don't think it's the same director. And
It isn't. It's some director.
let's see.
It was like, you know what? I want to make the sequel.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, directed by Andy Figman, starring Kevin James. After 6 years of keeping our malls safe, Paul Blart has earned a well-deserved vacation. So but safety never takes a holiday. So he's on vacation this time.
Okay, so he's on location away from the mall. He's visiting a different mall, maybe.
And a domestic terrorist is
Another
going to
one.
blow up the strip.
Another one.
Yeah, and he's going to save everybody.
Okay.
Somehow he gets a Segway again.
Cool. I rode a electric scooter this week that was made by a Segway brand, and it was super fun. It's on sale at Costco, and I was like,
I've never ridden an electric scooter.
It is
or
really fun.
A Segway or anything like that.
Really fun.
I never did a Segway, but I did the electric scooter before, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah. All right, you guys good? You want to wrap up?
Yes.
All right, cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties on Patreon. Those are our top tier subscribers. That is Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And Heather's in the chat. What's up, Heather? How you doing? She says it's a good reason as any to watch. I'm assuming that's about Paul Blart too.
Yeah.
First one was fun, so we'll see what the second one is. Mm-hmm. Not as derided as I think I was.
I think it's worse, rated worse.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bruce did say you can sync up Dark Side of the Moon with Paul Blart too.
Is that right?
Yes, like verified.
God.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I'll have to watch it twice.
I'm not sure how that works, but I guess we can see.
I do that sometimes with movies I've seen a million times before. Like Hero's a good one. It's like a music video movie. All the scenes are very visual, and you can just put on whatever soundtrack or album that you like.
My question is, why Dark Side of the Moon? Like, why is that always syncing up to
Cultural
movies?
phenomenon. It's such a long album. But I like. I listened to Sunbather by Deaf Heaven while watching Hero one time. That was phenomenal. It was so good. It was surprising how many scenes like lined up, and I was like, okay, this is really good.
But the album isn't as long as the movie.
No, it stopped 50 minutes into the Hero, and I just restarted it again.
That record is awesome, though.
It is a great record. All right, anyways, so those are all cool ass yard duties on Patreon. If you want to support us on the Patreon, hit us up, patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're at 971 subscribers.
Woo!
Our goal's 1,000. 29 more to go.
Then we can be on Jack Fitz level.
Yeah, that's right. We're all trying to get on Jack Fitz level.
Oh my god!
Jack the capybara Fitzpatrick.
That's what they call him.
It's actually Fitzgerald. Is it Fitzgerald? Fitzpatrick.
It's Fitzpatrick. It's Fitzgerald.
And I knew a guy named Fitzpatrick, last name. So anytime I see his last name, I have to toggle back and forth in my head.
I just call him Jack Fitz.
Yeah, Jack Fitz.
It's related to F. Scott. Fitzgerald.
Capybara Fitzgerald. All right. So, anyways, until next time. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. If you're here, if you're not, go on the YouTube. Whether it's live or you're watching after it's posted later, it's a lot of fun. It's helps us out too, helps support, and we really appreciate it. So everybody who's listening and participating, thank you so much. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on TikTok, Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
Yes, thank you for everybody for participating, and thanks for Dan Smith for binging the entire catalog. Appreciate it, buddy. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Honest question, Tyler. Pants on or off when you watch this?
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week. See you later. See you later. That's a wrap. Great show.